1980. There is no way that I ever imagined that I would learn the things that I've learned over the last 27 years. And I've sat at the table with people from industry, from government, from special interest groups funded by industry. I do not believe that all of them are deliberately trying to hurt people. What I think is that ideology has definitely blinded people. They do see these vaccines. I remember Robert Mendelsohn, who was the founder of the holistic healthcare movement in this country back in the 1970s, used to say that vaccination is the new sacrament. And it is almost like a religion. No,
it's a government religion. Oh, give me the sacrament.
It's like a religion in that they believe, or at least, I can't ascribe what everybody...
Look, they're eugenicists. They want to set the precedent that we line up and take whatever shots they say, just like going into the showers. Go ahead.
I do believe that they want us to create a system whereby we will be forced to take the products, the pharmaceutical products and the vaccines that they believe are going to, quote, keep the society safe. Now, I don't agree with that.
Well, they've been doing national drills to forcibly inoculate us under FEMA.
Well, and I'm concerned that we have, for whatever reason they're doing it, we as a society, as a people, as a free people, need to stand up and say, state legislators, federal legislators, you have got to pass legislation that is going to protect our right to informed consent to use of any pharmaceutical product or medical intervention that can kill or injure us or our children. That is a fundamental right. The right to bodily integrity, to individual autonomy, is a human right. And we look the other way and are complacent and apathetic and trust blindly at our peril.
Now, let me say this.
I know for sure.
Let me say this, Barbara Loe Fisher, and get your take on it as one of the preeminent experts on this. We're talking to all the doctors and, constantly tracking all the latest developments and research. Even if vaccines had never hurt anybody and were wonderful and were great, it would be a wicked, evil, dangerous precedent to set a precedent where whatever the government says they want in our body, they can force, because down the road some evil group could come into control and do that. But instead...
I totally agree with you. That's a very important statement. We have, incrementally, our freedoms are being taken from us, and people lead such busy lives, and they need to understand they have to every single day be vigilant. The price of freedom is eternal vigilance. I believe that was Thomas Jefferson or someone who said that, but it is so true, because if you set up an infrastructure and a government that doesn't allow the people to have free choice, particularly in health care, then somebody, as you point out, could come in and use that against all of us.
And then you look at the truth, the atomic soldiers, the Tuskegee Airmen, the children being radiated to death, thousands of them here in the U.S., then you know it is a bad group already in control. They set it up. It is evil intentions. It is bad. Do you have a bunch of lazy bureaucrats, control freaks at health departments and state health departments and federal level? Yeah. They're just following orders. They're compartmentalized. They're blissfully ignorant. They shoot their kids up and watch them get in the corner and be gone forever. And they just rationalize it. It's a sick cult. And then they turn it into a cult, like everybody dying of cancer because the hormones in the food, the women and the breast cancer. They make that a weird cult of, getting together and giving money to the very groups engineering it. This is eugenics, Barbara, and this is being done by design. And bottom line, what collision do you see happening? I mean, the collision's already going on, but I see it intensifying as the death, the destruction, the maiming, the pain, the UN's been caught putting sterilization hormones and tetanus shots. That's on record. I mean, as more and more die and they go, it's good, it's good, it's good. We want to put it in mosquitoes, so you have to take it. We want to put it in your food, so you have to take it. And as everybody's getting sick and they just keep going, the men in SWAT teams will drop by if you don't take it. We're your loving government. I mean, how can the cattle not see what's happening to them?
Well, I've been really interested in how Hollywood, in both film and on television, in drama in the evenings, is starting to sort of shine a light on some of this through fiction. I mean, if you look at some of the films that have been out, whether it's I Am Legend, V for Vendetta, some of the films, the 11th Hour on that is now.
That's because so many Hollywood people have given the shots to their kids. I know you know Charlie Sheen, and it's hurt their children.
Well, certainly our creative people in society, our authors, our screenwriters, playwriters, they do sometimes see where things are going, and they're like they do they ring the bell. And I definitely see this more and more. You're seeing these themes of science gone amok, physicians, scientists and physicians who kind of are playing God, and the result, when you don't have the people have control over those who are in positions of power who are playing God.
That was my next point, Barbara. We got to have you back up soon for 2 hours. Once a year is not enough. We appreciate you want to give out the website. But the other side of that, my wife tells me, she watches a little bit of TV. There's some show called The Practice, and it's all about how got to get the abortion. You're backwards if you don't want it. Just selling abortion. I mean, even if you're for abortion, what's the effect of selling it? And then selling, everybody dies or gets sick at the clinic because one person hadn't been vaccinated. If you're supposedly vaccinated, somebody who isn't vaccinated isn't going to infect you. So we also see counter propaganda.
Well, certainly, if one is going to take the risk with getting a vaccine, because every vaccine carries a risk that's greater for some than others, then one should at least 99 to 100% guaranteed that vaccine is going to work. And you're right. If the vaccines are as effective as the companies said they are, and the government has said they are, then the vaccinated should have nothing to fear from the unvaccinated, and there shouldn't be such an issue about forcing people to get vaccinated if they don't want to.
Now, what about what happened in Maryland a year and a half ago? I had the state attorney on, and he said, I haven't vaccinated my kids. And I said, well, why are there police dogs? Well, in case there was any problem. Guys in riot gear, police dogs, thousands of kids, 1,500 kids and their parents, thinking that it was the law to take shots, crying, not wanting it subconsciously, knowing it was bad. And then they didn't even show them waivers or let them know. I mean, this mass fraud of every year before school saying it's the law, you got to take shots when it's not the law. That right there should make everybody run from vaccines.
Well, I think a lot of people looked at that TV coverage, and I was there that day, and I can tell you it was a very chilling sight, because they made sure that SWAT team with those police dogs and carrying guns were very visible. They did it deliberately, and they would not let anyone into that courthouse to look at what was happening, including the media. And so I thought it was just a very chilling scene, and I thought it was a wake-up call for everybody, because this is an inappropriate flexing of state power.
Well,
why were those kids lined up with their parents? Why were they summoned? Because they hadn't gotten a chicken pox or a hepatitis B shot. Give me a break.
Well, let's stop right there. I mean, let's address and recognize you were there. We had other eyewitnesses on, but I didn't know you were there. I want you to hear you lay it out. There's a mass hoax where they say you'll be arrested if you don't take it. And then I have the state attorney on, and he laughs and says, my kids don't take it. Yeah, Alex, I know it's not the law. Like it's funny. And they think they're there crying, thinking it's the law. It was a mass exercise of false arrest, of false imprisonment. I mean, it's just with SWAT teams and dogs and armor and men in black and people lined up being injected, and it wasn't even a law. I mean, it's a crime.
Well, I have one memory that really will always stay with me. I was there with my son, and we had a video camera, and I was trying to talk with the parents who were exiting with their kids to interview them about what had happened in the courthouse, since nobody was allowed in. And there were these cement balls that were like hundreds of feet away from the entrance. And I don't know why, I guess I was clueless. I didn't realize that we weren't supposed to be on the other side of the balls. We were supposed to be on the outer edge. Well, I had stepped inside to just like 12 inches to talk to this mom who came out with her children. And while we were talking, one of the SWAT team with his hand on his gun and the dog came out of the courthouse, walking toward me, and I'm telling you, Alex, it was like I felt this sinking. I felt my throat go into my stomach. That kind of flash of fear, and I thought to myself, this must be how any person who in any time in the world who has come up against the power of the state felt when they knew that power was coming toward them. And I thought, this is so inappropriate. I did get on. He motioned for me. He directed me as he walked toward me with that dog to get on the other side of that cement ball. Now, it was just such an inappropriate...
No, stop. It wasn't inappropriate. It was hardcore, vicious tyranny. And once we cow to them, you go to D.C., New York, cops say, no cameras, turn them off, we're going to watch you with our cameras. It's just, you're a slave, get down there and lick my boots. And meanwhile, those cops are shooting their kids up, and their kids are doing this, and the cops are high-fiving. It's really fun to serve the system and be evil and to not care. And I saw the dogs and the cops, and they tell them to stand there like this going... You know, we have video in the upcoming film, The Obama Deception, with just cops in New York, literally with black helmets going. I mean, it's total tyranny.